The Lloyd's Group of Companies, this year celebrating their 60th anniversary, present the 1975 Magarey Medal. Live from the studios of Channel 9, News Limited and Channel 9, on behalf of the South Australian National Football League, present the 1975 Magarey Medal presentation. Tonight, a new name will be added to the already long list of distinguished football greats, reaching back to the commencement of the award in 1898. In a moment, we shall be crossing to your host, Tony Charlton, in Channel 9 Studio 1.
Saw the house we like to live in a magazine. An ordinary house looking very good in that magazine. Well, I knew I could do that myself. If I go to Lloyd's, I can do it myself. Lloyd's have everything we knew we'd be needing. Now our house is the kind you'll be seeing in a magazine.
One more for my trophy room, thanks to my Monte Carlo pool table from Eastern Projects. Impossible! On a Monte Carlo Slatex pool table, anything's possible. Monte Carlo from $199, including balls, cues, the lot.
Call into our factory at Benjamin Street, Newton, and watch your table being made.
Hey, who's Chrysler in the city?
York Motors, corner Pulteney and Angus Streets. They're Chrysler in the city.
Blackberry nip and a strawberry nip by Renmano. It's the hip nip. Renmano, talented winemakers creating real wine value.
And now, your host for this evening, Tony Charlton.
The Magarey Medal, league football's biggest moment, and we're all here to celebrate it. Kim Hodgman, you're one of the newer faces given a chance of winning the top award. Good luck. Third-year chemical engineering student Robert Klomp is another new face in the battle for honours that only champions win. This Champions champion has already won twice and is a hot favourite to join the select band of 5 triple medalists, Russell Ebert. Football personalities are here by the score to join with you in recognising the one who is eventually chosen. This simple token is what it's all about. First presented in 1898, the Magarey Medal to those who play the game means more than they can tell you. It is the ultimate triumph for the one whose effort is judged to be the best and the fairest. 1929, that doesn't really seem so long ago, does it, Bob Snell? And 1953 was just like yesterday for South Adelaide's Jimmy Dean, wasn't it, Jimmy? Jimmy, thanks for those memories. And that applies to you too, Fred Phillis.
The Magarey Medal in full forward position. What more can you do? Make it all. And look at the kids come onto the ground.
Time over the ton. What a performance by Fred Phillis. Only the good ones win the medal. Only the better ones win it twice. And amongst the dual winners, there is Wacker Scott, the great Norwood defender, 1924 and 1930. And the years of 46 and 47 belong to Bob Hank, peerless in the lost art of stab kicking. And what memories must be in this man's mind tonight, as Bruce McGregor reflects on the years of 26 and 27. What price the glory of those, however, who won the medal 3 times. The 50s decade was punctuated by the performance of the Sturt champion of 52, 54 and 59, Len Fitzgerald. Of all performances which come in sharp focus tonight, this old-timer achieved success that none have been able to duplicate. The winner of 3 consecutive Magarey medals in 1919, 1920 and 1921, Dan Moriarty. And 50 years after Dan Moriarty's unique performance, that North Adelaide superstar of 68, 70 and 73, Barry Robran. Decorated by the Queen for his participation in sport, and particularly Australian rules football, Lindsay Head is here. Lindsay Head's milestone of 300 games was equalled on the 9th of August this year by John Frederick Bills, to give the game another moment to remember.
Has earned this, and the crowd giving him a good ovation, and it's tremendous to see West Torrens win this match for Freddie Bills, and that's exactly what they've done on their home ground. It's only the second for the year, and they really wanted to win it.
The who's who of football continues as we have time to mention just a few of the members of the 200 Club, which is a milestone in itself. Port Adelaide ruckman Ted Whelan, a captain of a state side in 1958, but never of his own club. Rodney Allen of Woodville, the newest member of the fraternity, 200 up on July 12, and his best kick in league football was in the wrong direction. Newly appointed coaching director for the National Football League, Darryl Hicks. Welcome to you here tonight. The winner of the medal in 1961 and now president of the 200 Club, Sturt chairman of selectors, John Halbert. And I'm reminded that Jack Treadray is here at 91. He is the oldest member of the 200 Club. A sincere welcome to him. Well, we all know that when prejudices are put aside and law and order assumes its proper mantle, then the man in white deserves fitting recognition, and we are bent on giving him that now. Fred Bear is in his 6th year as the umpire's coach. Welcome to you, Fred. One of your protégés is Peter Mead, who had charge of the elimination final last Saturday. And Robin Bennett is there, and he handled the qualifying final yesterday. Earlier tonight, during the dinner festivity here, Charles Shea presented medals to the senior champions of tomorrow. And we'd like to recognise them now in our telecast direct through NWS 9 in Adelaide. The McCallum Medal for the under-17s best and fairest went to Colin Kirkwood of Port Adelaide. The Tompkins Medal for the under-19s champion went to Stephen Carr of West Torrens. There he is. And to the League Reserves, the supplementary Magarey, it was won by Sturt's Philip Heinrich. Well, those are just some of the winners and some of the personalities who are gathered here tonight in a guest list of 200 in Studio 1 at Channel 9. We'll return with introductions to the 3 players from each club who've received the most votes in the medal that it's all about.
Take a morning with the sun on the rise, feel the air, makes you tingle inside. Take a day just like today, feeling good, and nothing's in your way. Oh yeah, you're all right. Oh yeah, you're all right. In the evening, a gold glow lights the sky. Life is good when you share it with a friend.
Share your life with a friend. Bank Adelaide.
Looking for an independent tire dealer. Ron Heath is your man. His tire deals just can't be beat. Ron Heath is your man. He'll tell you about his extra special guarantee. For your next set of tires, Ron's the guy to see. So when you're looking for an independent tire dealer, Ron Heath is your man.
You are viewing the 1975 Magarey Medal presentation, coming to you live from the Channel 9 studios in Adelaide. And Ken Cunningham and Max Hall and Stan Wickham, Channel 9 personalities, are here enjoying it with you. The procedure now is to identify the top 3 vote winners in each of the 10 clubs. We're starting with West Torrens, and I'd ask you to give them a collective hand after the 3 from each club has been nominated. David Raggett played every game this year, which was his first in league football, and he played everywhere except in the ruck and on the wing. Milan Falatic, a converted soccer player, now in his 5th season, and he has passed the 100 games mark. And Greg White, who cannot work out how Torrens made the top 5 last year, but hit the bottom this year. Anymore, I think they didn't work out how they had 19 on the field a couple of weeks ago, because he reckons there was 20 in that fiasco. Anyhow, congratulations to the boys who represent the West Torrens organisation tonight. Woodville's best vote-getters were Eddie Richter, who wants Rick Davies to win tonight, and as a defender with 65 games experience, he should have a pretty good idea of what it's all about. The team's captain, John Girardi, who has greater hopes for Woodville's prospects now than ever before. His selections for the big double are Ebert and Glenelg, and most of them feel that way. Woodville's mediocre year is Graham Linky's first after 40 games with Geelong. He also chooses Ebert and Glenelg and suggests a more professional attitude on and off the field for footballers here. That's the group from Woodville. And now to Souths. Is it an omen for Peter Hines that he works for the same firm as Victorian Brownlow medalist Gary Dempsey? The side's only ruckman, he had to take them all on for 3 quarters at least in every game. Rick Davies is the hardest to beat in the ruck, he says. Good luck to you, Peter Hines. And South captain Bob Keddy in his 3rd season after 145 games with Hawthorn. He chooses Ebert or Woite and has returned to learning business management after a long time as a teacher. And finally, Graham Robbins, Bob Keddy's deputy, and with the same background as Peter Cloak, incidentally, that is Richmond and then Oakley in the VFA. He calls for an evening of the competition. South Adelaide's trio. Central Districts. Lyle Skinner, runner-up in the club's best and fairest, chooses Glenelg for the flag and Ebert for the Magarey. Dedication, he says, is the #1 lesson to learn in football. Barry Norsworthy was part of that incredible 50-goal history maker. He is voting for Rick Davies. And Peter Vivian thinks Peter Woite will win the medal and Sturt the flag. And his highlight of the year was the early season form of the young Central players. Central Districts group. And now to West Adelaide's trio. Dexter Kennedy feels the club could have done better, although it improved its position this year. It was his best season in 6, and Richmond, Collingwood and Fitzroy, they tell me, are all chasing him. Kevin Beswick found Peter Marker his best opponent, and as a centre man and half forward is going for Russell Ebert to win. Glenelg too. And for Jeff Morris, the year's highlight was beating Port Adelaide in the first game. Must have been a drought after that. Jeff has played 51 games, chiefly half forward. Welcome to the West Adelaide boys. For North Adelaide, Peter Cloak is not hopeful of success, but others have more faith in him. Barry Robran, after positive diagnosis for his leg problem, is looking forward to his operation in a fortnight. He's been carrying that injury for 18 months now and missed the last 5 games this year, as he and you know. And rover Trevor Hill, a cousin of the Tassie medalist Graham Malloy. In his 2nd year with North, the side which has 7 first-year and 7 second-year players building for the future. Good luck to North Adelaide tonight. And now we're over to Port Adelaide. Darryl Cale couldn't make it, but defending champion Russell Ebert is here and is strongly favoured to win it again. He expected the side to beat North Adelaide, even though his halfback line was totally changed. And Peter Woite here has had his elbow joint pinned and thinks it's about time his luck is changed, because he played in 2 grand finals for 2 losses and now he's busted his elbow. So good luck to Port Adelaide's group. Sturt carried off on a stretcher on Sunday, but here tonight, Rick Davies. He was runner-up to Russell Ebert last year. Mike Noonan has no choice for the medal, but still thinks Sturt has a fine chance for the flag, providing it takes more chances. And Robert Klump lines up against Port Adelaide this week and says we'll have to use handball more effectively this time. And he doesn't want to see Wayne Phillis ever again. The Sturt group. We move to Glenelg. Peter Marker. What a mark and what a goal in the last quarter, Peter. Super. He says that 7 finals in the last 2 seasons for only 1 loss makes Glenelg a good thing. Now we've got Kim Hodgman, who was a reserve in the grand final last year, but is very much a member of the side this year, and doesn't think that with Peter Marker and Peter Carey in the same side, they have robbed each other's chance for the medal. And 21 years old ruckman centre-half forward Peter Carey looks forward to the Norwood encounter on Sunday, with the present result between those clubs 1-1. That's that group. Now we're with Norwood. John Wynne couldn't make it, but here is the club's best prospect, Ross Dillion. 8 goals on 2 occasions this year from centre-half forward and 70 goals for the season. He has strong support. Stephen Curley saw Glenelg at the weekend and doesn't mind playing them on Sunday. He has had a fine season too, and from those 30 that we have just run through, 10 survive the first count. And we'll introduce them now and have them come forward to be interviewed before the declaration of the winner for 1975 of South Australia's Magarey medal. First name out of the hat. First name out of the hat in the top 10 is Peter Marker of Glenelg.
third quarter as Button's up there, tackled by Marker. Clever play there by Marker. Sidesteps brilliantly, lines up the goals, has a shot, and it goes.
Cole will look for a Guernsey and he sees one around the corner. It's Marker. Marker going down. Courageous Mark. Over to McInerney it goes. On to Marker, and this will seal it as Marker puts it through. Bang through the centre. And it's all over here at Football Park.
Tap then, taken again by Peter Marker. Lost by the Glenelg skipper, but he keeps after it. A great hand pass.
Hopping with a handball to Tardif, and he gets the call for the short one. Down it goes to Peter Marker. Peter Marker has a look at the goals, decides he can do it. Bangs it up there, and it looks good off the boot. And Peter Marker has kicked a six-pointer. And Glenelg go further away. Kick away from the back pocket. Marker gets up high, the mark of the day.
A beauty over the top of Davies, and Davies doesn't like it.
A beautiful mark to the bay skipper.
Nice mark, Mr. Marker.
Yeah, anyone would think I'd played well. I didn't think I'd played that well at all, really.
What about the goal? And I saw that.
Well, it was a very hard game, actually, Tony. It was one of the hardest games I've ever played in, and only, very happy that we won it, and I think it augurs well for next week.
There is still strong support for Sturt's future in the finals, however.
Oh, Sturt are a very good side. They've got a team that has been playing together and well for a long time. They play as a team, and accordingly, if you want to beat them, you've got to play as a team as well, but you've got to play as a team just a little bit better, and that's not very easy to do.
Well, your team is playing well. It's got a finals record, 7 matches in 2 seasons for 1 loss.
Yes, I'd be most surprised if we don't win this year's grand final, to be quite honest.
And confidence helps a lot, doesn't it? Now, speaking of confidence, Russell Ebert is a hot favourite to win the medal.
Yes, I think Russell will win it. I think he puts more into his game than most people do, and those that try hardest normally win things like this.
And you'd have a feeling about it because he beat you on the last count in 71.
Yes, he did. Yes, 1971. That's the closest I've ever got.
Well, what about your own prospects?
I started off the season very well, and I received an injury about halfway through the season, and it took me 5 or 6 weeks to get onto my feet again, and so,
You think it's robbed you?
Well, yes, I suppose.
Now, you've played in an Australian final once before. What chance of doing that this year?
Well, strangely enough, Colin Anderson, who plays for us as well, said a couple of weeks ago that it'll be Glenelg North Melbourne Australian Championships this year, and North Melbourne are doing very, very well over there, and we're doing very well here. It could well be.
You would know that once you've had a few games under your belt, they never stop talking about retirement. Now, if you plan to play another 4 or 5 seasons as you do, then you'll go over 300, won't you?
I should do, yes, yes. Every time I read the paper these days, they're talking about me as a veteran. It's a bit disturbing, but I'm only 26.
Yeah, it's good to be a young veteran, though, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I've got a few years to go.
Now, in the 206 games that you have played, what's been the most remarkable of them?
The 1973 Premiership, easily. That was a superb game. And I think probably the 49 goals against Central Districts a couple of weeks ago.
Absolutely extraordinary. What's your own account of it?
Well, it was most unusual. Everyone was running on air, they were running at 100 mile an hour everywhere, and it was a superb game, and Central's played very well. They should have kicked 20 goals, but, we just had one of those days. It was really good.
The Lewisham Clinic in Sydney helped in his football rehabilitation, and he's one of the favourites tonight, Peter Marker.
Thank you. Thank you.
Can Sturt fight back? And can the club produce another Magarey medalist? Let's ask Robert Klomp.
Clearly won that position. That's a good kick to Barton.
Barton's got Klomp at centre-half forward.
And that's exactly where it goes. And
Nice
there's a great kick from Klomp. Straight through.
That's his first goal, Klomp.
The centre for the Bays. There's from the back of the pack, Robert Klomp.
Good mark, Klomp.
Taken by Noonan. Noonan with a handball to Klomp. Well, gets away from Campbell and shows his agility there. Left Campbell for dead. Has a look at the goals.
Bagshaw. Klomp steadies. Has a shot. It's a good kick.
Well done.
Off hands. Klomp. Clever play to Graham. Graham's kick around the corner. What a beautiful goal.
And that's it.
Klomp sets it up for Graham. And there's the difference in the two sides.
Good to see the good ones back again, isn't it, Robert?
Well, that's for sure, Tony.
And try and forget the bad ones. Now, Port this week.
It's very difficult to say, of course, because, perhaps we didn't move the ball on as well as we have in the past yesterday, but then Saturday is an entirely different game again.
Yeah, but you weren't impressed with Port, I understand.
Well, I didn't say that. I didn't see the game myself, and I can only go on what I've heard, and so many of the Port players themselves weren't too impressed either.
More constructive handball required by your team is a suggestion that you make.
Well, perhaps, yes. I think we need to perhaps move the ball on a little more. I think Mick Noonan said as much as well, that if we try and get the ball moving as often as possible, it certainly helps keep the game open and flowing.
You were once a Port supporter, isn't that right?
Yes, I was going back a few years now. But,
some irony, therefore, in playing against them.
Yes, it's a thing that strikes me that I seem to enjoy playing against Port, and always you seem to get that little bit extra. I don't know if having barracked for them in the past has something to do with it, but it makes you wonder sometimes.
Yeah. Now, can you give us a fitness report on Davies, Noonan and Howard?
I can't really say at all, you know.
It's a pretty important matter.
Oh, well, it's not something I'm concerned with. We just...
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they're very concerned with it.
No, we leave this up to the medical team at the Oval, and that's it.
You were telling me before when we spoke that you've beaten Glenelg 6 out of 7, so how would you go into that game as underdogs?
Perhaps the fact that the Bays had been winning by large margins and had been moving the ball on very well, left it, made it quite obvious that they would be a tough team to play, and perhaps also the fact that we had 3 or 4 players coming back in after a few weeks out.
Anyhow, we're talking about the medal first and foremost. Can you win it for Sturt?
I don't think so.
You don't think
No.
so? But you never know, do you? Sturt's chemical engineer student, Robert Klump, with 2 Bs and 1 K. Thank you, Robert. Norwood has a representative in the top 10, and you'd have reckoned on that. But will there be more? Welcome, Stephen Curley. Would you please come forward?
Forward, Seacam in front. The big fella over the top is Curley. The recruit Stephen Curley from Melbourne gets his first kick in league football at centre-half back for Norwood. Casson in towards the centre wing. Behind Stephen Curley.
Curley, 20 kicks at centre-half back.
Yes. She's played well, extremely well.
There's a great mark to Stephen Curley. Handballs and under Stasanoski.
No doubt about that handball. That really gets it going, doesn't it, Stephen?
Yes, it does help occasionally, especially if we receive it.
Now, have you checked the family tree to make sure that you are not related to the one and only Neil?
Yes, I have looked into it fairly deeply and not related at all. No.
Yeah, there aren't that many Curleys around, though, are there?
No.
Is Ross Dillon the club favourite to win the medal?
Yes, I was quite surprised, to say the least, that I was up here now. I thought Ross has had a tremendous year and been a good example of all the players.
But what about you?
I've been quite happy, but thought I had a bit of a low spot there mid-year.
And both of you hail from the Melbourne club. Has that helped really in teamwork?
I think it's helped a lot in experience-wise. You know, there's a fairly young side at Norwood there, and I think we have helped occasionally. You know.
Yeah. Have you enjoyed Adelaide football?
Yeah, I have really enjoyed it because it's a little bit different than South Australian football in the way that they move the ball, and I think it's quite a good game to watch. You know, a little bit less pressure and tackling, but yes, I think it is a good game.
Are there prejudices against the Victorian style of play here?
Yeah, you seem to come across it a little bit early in the piece. You know, I think we can't kick as well and all this sort of thing. But oh no, I think they accept us after a while.
Mm-hmm. Did you see Glenelg at the weekend? That's what I wanted to ask you.
No, I only saw them on the replay really, and quite impressed with it really.
Don't mind playing them on Sunday?
No, I'm quite looking forward to it, yeah. I think we've got a very good chance.
Yeah, well,
very confident out there.
You've got to make use of your chances. A chartered accountant who'll be adding up the votes carefully tonight. You can bet on that, Stephen Curley. Thank you, Stephen. That's 3 of the chosen 10. We move now to number 4. North Adelaide's hopeful with its newcomer, Peter Cloak.
With the ball, but tried to shepherd. Strong work by Cloak. He leapt into that pack.
O'Brien's kicking towards the centre position, looking down there for Treadray. But there's a good mark, and it's taken by the high flyer in Peter Cloak.
Looks as though he's set for a good one today. Marking is his game. Has a look, bangs it out there for Dillion. Oh, what a mark!
Well done, Cloak and Bobby Dazzler over the top. Judged it beautifully. He was 18 inches above his opponent.
Young Norwood, this is the younger brother of the two. Cloak, he'd be just about best on ground.
Skinner thumps it forward. Oh, Peter Cloak went high. Vivian went without possession of the ball.
Played Cloak.
Cloak played, well played. Out towards the half-back flank, and there he is, that man, Peter Cloak.
Marked beautifully, punched away when necessary. All aspects of the game today.
Well, you can certainly take a good mark, Pete. Who's the best mark that you've seen?
Well, the best mark, well, it's a very hard one. Well, I haven't seen Barry Robin, as someone just said, at his best, but best one I've seen would have to be Graham Corns at his best.
Uh-huh. Now, did you hear about Brother David's performance for Richmond at the weekend in the final over there?
Yes, I believe he left his jumper behind when he went to the game.
Nearly had a heart attack, and there was a race all through town to get the jumper to him before he went onto the field, but he made it. How many games did you have with Richmond?
I had about 30, Tony.
Yeah, and then you went to Oakley in the VFA?
Yes.
And how many did you play with them?
I had about 35 there with them.
Mm-hmm. Does it wear a bit thin when you've got experience playing in a team-building side?
Well, it gives you more responsibility, and I think it helps you a lot more. You don't feel as old yourself either.
What's been the best thing about North this year?
Well, for a start, when I came here this year, read in the papers we were going to be on the bottom. I thought, well, what have I got here? But, well, we've made the 5, and we've had a lot of new players in the team, and we're only looking for the future.
Did you expect to graduate to the next round?
Well, we were hopeful, and we were just taking each game as it came.
What makes a vote catch you?
Well, we find out tonight, we hope. Obviously, someone who's close to the centre, someone who maybe can take a good mark, and obviously doesn't talk back to the umpires.
And do any, therefore, lessen their chance because of that in this group tonight?
Well, I don't think they do in this group tonight.
Several of tonight's fancies didn't make the state side, and since the war, I've got a note here, 2 who did not make the state side did win the medal, so maybe it's a chance for a turn-up.
We hope so.
Yeah. Peter Cloak, North Adelaide's champion, Peter Cloak. Right, we're with number 5 in the Magarey medal presentation. Glenelg has 2 in the final 10, and it could be more. You made it, Peter Carey.
Good, strong one to the full forward spot. Carey!
There it is, the man that could win this game.
Require one of his great kicks to make the distance. Well, look at the kick, it is a beauty too, right towards
Look
the
at that,
square. You
Breeze,
couldn't have
bring
done
it
any
back.
better than that, and
That's
it's through. What a goal!
Magnificent goal. It's a nice looking kick, but it won't get there.
Big pack.
Oh, how do you like that? One hand. Oh, Davies used Carey as a left step ladder. Carey a goal.
Kick towards a half-back flank, and it's Carey again.
Makes the square. Oh, Carey starting to show signs of greatness now.
You know, kids can train 100 hours a week and not be able to pull down marks like that. What's the best thing you learned about marking?
Probably being about 6'5" helps me the most.
I would think so. Now, Norwood on Sunday, and it's 1 game all.
Well, I'm very confident after our performance yesterday that we can beat Norwood.
Yeah, and what were the results against them earlier?
I think we beat them by about 12 goals the first time we played them, and they beat us by 17 points the last time.
And what have you got to say about this problem that seems to exist in most highly competitive codes? Strong sides getting stronger and the weak ones getting weaker.
Well, myself, I favour an 8-team competition in South Australia.
Do you have much support for that contention?
Well, I wouldn't like to see who the 2 sides are going to be that would have to drop out, but I think it's necessary in our competition to strengthen it.
Would a promotion and relegation system be the answer?
I don't think so. I think, well, it'd mean maybe 2 6-team competitions or 2 6-team divisions, and I think that'd weaken the competition more than strengthen it.
The young bloke who fired you to league ranks, who was your idol?
When I lived in Victoria, Kenny Fraser, the Essendon centre-half forward, was probably. And
well, he's assistant coaching for Des Tuddenham for Essendon today, number 23, right. Yeah.
And when I came to South Australia, Peter Marker was my idol.
Yeah. So,
I hope that doesn't show his age too much.
What about this makeshift role of yours because of team needs being pushed into the ruck?
Well, I enjoy just playing for Glenelg. I don't really mind where I play.
Will Brian Colby be okay for Sunday?
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm sure you hope so. 21-year-old ruck and centre-half forward for Glenelg, Peter Cleary. Thank you, Pete. 5 of the top 10 interviewed, 5 yet to be declared, and we'll be back for that ceremony in just a few moments.
There's a lot to like about Woite. 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 There's a lot to like about Woite.
When you want carpets or sheet vinyls laid, phone Macleay Brothers for a free quote. Macleay's quote is always keen and often the lowest. Don't miss out. See or phone Macleay Brothers Homemakers. They value your business.
Buy direct and paint the difference.
Hey, who's Chrysler in the city?
York Motors, corner Pulteney and Angus Streets. They're Chrysler in the city.
You're with us at the Magarey Medal presentation dinner at Studio 1 of Channel 9 in Adelaide, and welcome if you've just joined in. We've so far interviewed 5 of the top 10 vote-getters for the medal count, and now we're at number 6, but not necessarily in order. Norwood has another man in the Magarey limelight, so please, would you come on stage, Ross Dillion.
Centre-half forward goes the big long kick, Dillion.
That was Dillon's mark. Between 2 North Adelaide players.
Finds Seacamp, he decides to play on, gives it to Dillion. Dillion through centre-half forward, can see those goals, ran a good 10 metres, bangs it up. This could be 6 points and one of the best passages of play we've seen from the Redlegs all day.
Down towards a half-forward flank, looking for Dillion, and that's a great mark taken by Dillion.
Going the wrong way, going into the pack, that takes a lot of guts. There's no other way to describe it. And a beautifully judged mark. 1 grab every time, this player. He's got 6 on the board. Dear me, what a performance from centre-half forward.
Well, from Redlegs to Redlegs, there's some blokes that can really mark over here, aren't there?
Certainly are.
Yeah. Now, centre-half forward all the year?
Yes, this year.
Yeah. Not an easy position in which to play. Do you envy the defenders? Would you like only to be going one way instead of having to turn back against the tide?
Well, I did play centre-half back for a while in Melbourne, and I didn't mind it there, but playing with Norwood at centre-half forward this year is, hasn't been as hard as a lot of people imagine it might be.
This is your 3rd year?
That's right.
Your inspiration to keep going, Ross, after having had to overcome so many injury problems?
Oh, I think just the satisfaction you derive out of playing football and out of all the mateship you make out of all the people that you meet through football and the players that you play with.
Yeah. What's overcome the accuracy difficulty that you used to experience?
Well, I thought after 10 years it was about time that I learnt, and
about time you hit the barn door.
A bit of concentration, and I think confidence comes from after you've kicked a few.
Well, terrific effort to get 70 from that position, including 8 on 2 occasions.
Oh, it's Norwood's goals, not mine.
Oh, well, I don't know about that. What do you make of Fred Phillis's effort?
Oh, great. And, the recent 18 goals, it doesn't surprise you. Glenelg are a very good attacking side, and, Fred's proved over the years that he's a very good player.
Is it Glenelg's forward line that worries you most?
Overall, they're a very attacking side, and I think this is the thing that any side who's going to beat them has got to overcome. Any side can only play as well as the other side allows them to play, and I think this is going to be the key to it.
Have you ever been in a premiership side?
No. I've been in a side that was 2 points down with 30 seconds to go, and I managed to hit the post from about 30 yards out.
But no more. Forget all about that.
I left town after that.
You've had problems with your eyesight. That's one of the difficulties you've had to overcome. How easy or how difficult was it to adjust?
Oh, once I'd got the right contact lenses, I I haven't experienced any problems since then.
Now, you're the administration manager of a finance company. Would you like to look into the economic future for 12 months and tell us what we're in for?
I'll let the government do that, I think.
Ross Dillon, a fine example of perseverance and triumph over adversity. One of the Norwood representatives in the big vote. Many are called, but few are chosen. You'd agree with that. And fewer still are chosen twice, and maybe 3 times, from Port Adelaide, the defending champion, Russell Ebert.
Looking for Ebert, outer side of the oval. Holst was tackling, Treadray back to Ebert. Good football. Direct approach towards goal. A beautiful kick there by Ebert. Ebert. Ebert again.
Oh, look at him go.
Handball. Look at him go, says Wally May as he gets it to light. Millard's beaten him, as Ian Aitken's voice told you earlier. Tap on by Ebert. A great game from him today. Over finds Treadray. Back to Ebert. I bet he'd love to kick a goal. Here's his chance. Steers it up there. And just misses.
Crows' kick towards centre-half back.
Look at Ebert.
That's a beautiful mark to Russell Ebert.
It's a crazy ball, remember?
Hines, number 16 there. Ebert patting the ball along in front of him. Great footballer, Ebert. Steadies, left or right, it doesn't make much difference, but I can guarantee you this, whichever foot it is, it always finds a teammate. Here's Ebert straightening up. If ever a man can kick goals, it's Russell Ebert, and straight through.
Well done, Russell Ebert.
Good to look at, Russell. And so we meet again, eh?
Yeah. Good, isn't it?
Although I thought you walked up here like an old crow. You looked as stiff as a board. Have you got a few problems?
Oh, no, just a bit of a wog. But I'll look after it.
Yeah, if it doesn't look after you first.
Nah.
Now, what about your performance in comparison with last year?
Last year. Yeah, it was more of a...
That was 1974, remember?
Yeah, good year. No, it was... I think last year was a very good year club-wise for the whole club. We changed coaches and the attitude at the club completely changed, and we went ahead. We proved what the difference was.
I'm talking about you in comparison with last year.
I was getting to that. But no, it's... You know, I'm playing more of a team game now, I feel. The players around are supporting as well as we can expect them to.
Yeah. If you imply that you were an individualist before, I would hate to think that individualists are going out of a team game.
Oh, no, but I think, as you say, it is a team game, and the way it's played today, you've got to be very mobile and have 3 or 4 up around the ball as it falls, and with those odds, you'll win the ball.
Now, you expected to beat North even with the half-back line completely changed?
Yes, we'd met them twice during the year. At Football Park, we beat them by 6 or 7 goals, and then we ran over them at Adelaide. So we were confident, although we had changes, but the players that came in, they did well, and we were quite pleased with them.
Is this team as good as the one that was lined up last year?
Well, it's basically the same, although we've recruited Timmy Evans from Geelong. He's now playing at full forward, started at centre-half back. Robert Watman was a wingman over there, and he's fitted into our game, a run-on player. All the other players are a year older and more experienced. After last year, we had a run of successes, and I think this was our downfall in the end.
Now, back to the individual. You'd be inhuman if you weren't conscious of your own ability at the game. Now, have you made an effort? Have you been conscious of the prospect of winning the medal again this year?
Well, I don't think you think about it until, you know, the last few weeks, and all the other awards are announced, and voting comes to a climax, and they're all finalised, and then, you know, if you're up in the first 1, 2 or 3, you sort of think, well, you might have a chance.
Peter Woite been cutting your throat?
No, Peter wouldn't cut anyone's throat. No, the way I look at it, you know, the umpires, they give 6 votes, and if you're good enough, you'll grab a slice of them.
You play the Troubled Sturt this week?
Yeah, well, say Troubled Sturt, they give a lot of other teams trouble too.
Can you win?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
of course we can.
Well, it helps to be playing losing teams, doesn't it?
Well, this is the way we've entered the finals. We finished 4th, and as it is, we go through. If we keep winning, we keep playing losing teams.
Fellas like you about, why are the crowds dropping off?
Oh, no, they mightn't like me.
Is there a reason that you've got for that?
No, not that I know of. If I had, I'd change.
You know, this show, Rollerball, has a very serious message, really, and it's excellently put together. Can you see, given another century, that things like that will be happening as far as sporting entertainment's concerned?
Well, you know, speaking about Rollerball and any other movie that's on at the moment, I think the producers are just going for the extremes, and I think this is what catches the imagination of the public, and this is what draws the crowds in. But Rollerball, I've only seen shorts on TV, and that's enough for me.
Well, your first child is to be born next month, and if the child is a boy, would you want him to play league football?
Oh, you know, I'll encourage him to play all sports. Not just football. I play other sports, so I will encourage the lad, if it's a lad.
And if the crowd doesn't like him, they're certain to like his dad.
With, yeah.
Yes, all right. Good luck to you again. Russell Ebert, already twice a winner of the Magarey Medal. We're now at number 8 of the top 10. A third player from Glenelg, a third one, Kim Hodgman.
Back flank, Wayne Fuller stumps it forward. Greg Bennett ran into trouble but got out of it. Well, on to Hodgman. Hodgman's kicked down towards the square. Phyllis used his body very well and shepherded that through.
And well done, Hodgman. Hodgman, a very, very damaging player, as you can see.
Good tap down there. Oh, kick! Great kick by Hodgman. Greg seemed to lose track of it in the sun. Hodgman, 20 metres out.
Oh, good kick.
And it's 6 points. Bangs it up there for Glenelg. Western it is. Oh, look at that mark. Little Hodgman.
It's either a goal or the best mark you've ever seen.
Crikey, Moses.
Doing exactly as they like. Goodness me, Hodgman, straight through the middle it goes, and it's champagne football.
Well, a background of champions behind him, and he'll soon join them, providing his aching back allows him. How is it?
Oh, it's not bad. It's coming on.
Took you a week to get out of your chair.
Yeah.
What happened?
I got a big knee from Terry Moore against Centrals.
Then he's got a very big knee.
Yeah, he's got a very big knee.
Yeah. Well, what's the prospect for you against Norwood next Sunday?
Oh, I think we can win next week.
Can you play, though?
I got my fingers crossed. I think we can. I think I can play next week. I've had a lot of treatment on my back, and I've just got my fingers crossed that I can play next week.
Yeah, and you'd also have your fingers crossed that you don't have that slump again that the side went through.
Oh, I don't think so. Not now.
But it can happen.
It could, but I don't think it will.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, Kells won't let it. Yeah.
Your prospects in the Magarey?
I don't think so. I think Glenelg have played a team game this year. There hasn't been very many individual efforts this year. I think we've played a real good team effort, and I think we've each cut our throats this year.
Yeah.
We're all up there.
Now, what about your prospects in the Magarey?
10-1.
Yeah, well, that's not bad odds, really. Carey and Marker, do you think they've cost you a few?
By the looks of it, they have. I don't think I can win it, no.
What have been the season highlights for you, young man?
I would say the 49 goals against Centrals would be the highlight of the year.
What about DK's 18?
Yeah, that was phenomenal. Yeah, really good.
I don't think we'll ever see such a thing again, although records are always there to be broken, aren't they?
I'm glad he took his black boots off and put his yellow ones on.
And was that statistic right, about 96 marks against Sturt for the club?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was. That's how it was reported a couple of times. There's a lot of marks there. Good wishes. The world's your oyster, young man. Kim Hodgman, join the chance. Next out of the hat and from Central Districts, we're going to call on Barry Norsworthy.
Forward. Who's there? Norsworthy. Norsworthy cleverly sidesteps, lines up the goals, and it'll wander through. Yes, it is. Wiley will be tackled by Marker. A good tackle, backed up though by Norsworthy. This is Barry Norsworthy, breaking clear, booting it down ground towards Bethan. Got him, plays on immediately. Bang! Up comes the goal. Knocked away by Norwood. Castley couldn't gain possession of the ball. Crouches on the ground. Norwood straight through a tunnel, kicks it down towards the square, looking for Reid.
We've got the advantage of a faint cross breeze in this final term as Barry Norwood tries to get the Dogs forward, helped out there by Wiley.
Castley got the tap. It went down towards Norwood. Norwood clever, straightened up, shot at goal, is accurate, and Norwood brings up his second goal.
It'd be good if the games were all highlights, wouldn't it, eh, Barry?
That's for sure.
Yeah. Now, your best year, certainly for consistency, they tell me.
Yes, I think so. The last couple I've missed a few, and this year I've tried to be more consistent each week.
Who'll win the medal?
My tip has been Rick Davies, but I can't see him yet.
Well, we've still got a couple to go. We've got one to go after you.
One to go. So
yeah.
I think any one of them would well deserve it.
Yes. The weekend results, what did you think of them?
Well, I was... people had written off North. I thought they'd put up a show. Finals are different, and I thought they would... I thought it would be a little bit closer than it was, actually. Sturt and Glenelg again, I thought it would be a great game. I didn't think Glenelg would pull away by so much.
And prospects next weekend? Norwood have done everything right?
Well, they're my tip for the flag.
Are they?
She's right. Well, I wouldn't see Glenelg are a great side, Sturt are a great side. Port are capable of beating any one of them. It's just a feeling that they've done everything right so far, and I think they'll do it.
Can you give me something about this Peter Bytheen that you've discovered?
Peter Bytheen? Well, we've brought up, in our last 3 or 4 games, we had 10 first-year players. If any side can get 3 or 4 good players out of those, they're doing well. We've got 9, in my opinion, and Peter Bytheen is still eligible for Colts, and he'll be the best ruck rover in South Australia.
You say that you're a Charlie Foreman protege. Who was Charlie Foreman?
He's a gentleman I have been going to for the last 3 or 4 years, and he's been teaching me, to be more skillful, and his football hasn't been touched yet, really.
Yeah. Can you teach people skills, or have they either got them or not? Can you just produce
Some
them?
people have, but to the general person, it can be taught.
Barry, who's the best footballer you've seen?
Barry Robran and I think Russell Ebert would be very close.
And the best character you've come across in the game?
Well, I don't know about character, but the man most I admire would be Sonny Morey.
Sonny, yes, we had him on the show at this time last year, so hello to him wherever he might be. Barry Norwood, good luck to you in the big count. Nine stars of league football are now on the dais, and who is the last one to join them? Representative of the top 10 in the vote for the medal for 1975. The last place in the final 10, a centre-half back. He comes from Port Adelaide, Peter Woite.
Again, McFarlane from the base from centre wing to the half-forward line. Under the fall of the ball, Woite. What a great game.
And a full forward goes the kick. Corns down there. Woite, in my opinion, best man on the ground.
Down to the forward pocket. Colwell leapt high. So did Corns. But Woite, handball away. Weston with a handball. Finds Millard. A clever kick off the outside edge of his boot, but it's gone to a Port Adelaide player in Peter Woite.
Position behind was Corns couldn't take it. Woite. Oh, Mr. Seiko this afternoon.
Well, it's a bit much breaking something in a match, let alone a training.
Yes.
Is it sore?
No, it's good now.
But you had it pinned?
Yes.
And it's definitely out for this year?
Yes, unfortunately.
Who's going to win the medal then?
Russell by a mile. For sure. No, you don't appreciate how good he is. I don't think other people don't, as much as what the players do. Russell this year, although he's had probably 25 kicks per game, he's had at least 17 handballs, and the play that he creates, it makes a backman's dream, really.
He said he's become more of a team player. Are you conscious of that?
Oh, for sure he has. Yeah, he's so important to the team. His football brain is so important to the team, and being in the pivot position, he controls play.
Well, he thinks highly of you. How do you feel about you?
Actually, I'm surprised there's so many backmen here tonight. They know the hard job they've got, you know. we get the ball coming one way most of the time.
Now, the side won its last match, but not convincingly.
No. I think we got the bad game out of our system. Just as a spectator on Saturday, I thought the kicking was very poor, and I think we'd be the first to agree, the side, our side.
with good kicking, and we're a winning side. We play a losing side on Saturday, and we've certainly got the right application down at Albion. So.
Well, it's required because you're in the position of having to win. There are no second chances.
That's right. Every game has to be a winning game, otherwise we're out.
Does that help, or would you rather have a bit of insurance up your sleeve?
Well, we would have preferred to have finished higher up the ladder, but in the true tradition, rather, down at Albion, backs up against the wall is great.
As a constable of 7.5 years standing, how are you going to arrest them like that?
Well, I'm not at work at the moment, as you
I can see that. The highlights of the season for you?
Probably playing in the side, playing with such good teammates around you really is the highlight. I've had more disappointments, I think, than highlights.
Well, you mentioned, 2 grand finals for 2 losses, and now this business, it's sort of getting to be a hoodoo with you, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the Port Council should put the gutter outside the fence, I think.
Peter Woite is one of the favourites for the 1975 Magarey. Good luck to you, Pete. And we've accounted for the top 10. Club representation in the top 10 is now confirmed as follows. Glenelg 3 players, Norwood and Port Adelaide 2, Centrals, North and Sturt 1, and Torrens, Woodville, West and South none. The next announcement from here will be the announcement of the winner of the Magarey Medal.
Excuse me, sir. I'm conducting an interview for... Oh, you bought this from Montine, did you? I just bought my new escort from them. I got a fabulous deal. What sort of deal did you get?
I never thought you'd ask. It was incredible. No one could beat it. And look, I'll show you. Have you got a pen?
No, but I've got this.
That'll do. Now, look here. Now, this car's worth $5,400. And for my old trade-in, they gave me $2,600. And that was $200 more than anywhere else. So, you see, I only paid $2,800. Now, no one could beat a deal like that. I went out of town, I went into town. And no one could beat it. No one. Anyway, must go. Bye.
What about your interview?
Monteam Ford Deals, 1013 Port Road, Cheltenham.
No one can beat the deal you'll get on a new Ford from Monteam. No one.
Hey, Scott Bonner asked me to give the real mowers a bit of a push. A push? That's the last thing they need. See? Self-propelled. And besides, the people who really know about reel mowers know how good Scott Bonner reel mowers are. You get a great smooth finish. Mows over edges. You can use the exclusive edger attachment too. You get quiet, 4-stroke power. And Scott Bonner design and engineer them to last for years. Scott Bonner reel mowers. As I said, who needs to push them?
Hey, have you noticed that since we discovered Renmano blackberry nip and strawberry nip, what years ago, that other blackberry nips and strawberry nips have started to appear?
Yes, that's why I have started to insist on Renmano. I mean, I don't want anything else. Renmano is so smooth.
And fruity.
Guess we're just choosy when it comes to our nips.
And sentimental. Blackberry and Strawberry Nip by Renmano.
To our television audience and to our audience in the studio, would you please welcome to the dais the President of the South Australian National Football League, Judge Donald Brebner.
Thank you, Tony. Good evening, everybody. I must just say one or two things before making the announcement that I'm here to make. Firstly, of course, it should be said that players who have earned the displeasure of the tribunal during the year are not eligible for the medal, and so only eligible players have appeared before you tonight. Another thing that I must say that is the rules provide that in the event of a tie for the medal, a count-back is made, and the player with the highest number of first votes wins the medal. Now, there's not a tie for the medal, but this principle was used to determine the final 10, because when the voting results are generally announced, you will realise that there were some ties involved. Also, this principle was used to determine the club representatives in the case of any ties in that event. And in fact, on one or two occasions, we finally had to determine the last invitation by lot. On a different tack, may I just say thank you to Channel 9 and to the news for making this function and this telecast possible. I'm sure that everybody here and that everybody at home will have enjoyed this presentation. But now I shouldn't keep you in suspense any longer. I should announce the winners, or the winner of this year's Magarey Medal. I can say, just before I do that the voting was very, very close. The third position went to a player with 18 points. The second position to a player with 19 points. And the winner had 20 points. So there was nothing in it. And perhaps I could also say that all of these gentlemen that are on the dais behind me had 10 points or better. To the task. Third, with 18 votes, Norwood's Ross Dillion. Second, 19, Glenelg's Peter Marker. And the winner of the 1975 Magarey Medal from Port Adelaide, Peter Woite.
Well, I believe in miracles now. No, I'm speechless, actually. I just didn't believe that it's possible. I thought, others were much better favoured, actually. Thank you. What can I say?
Well, we'd like you to say a few more things, and I'd like you particularly to say what you said when I rang you up and suggested that you come along here tonight.
Oh, that's a bit hard, actually.
He says, there's no way I'm going to be home.
Yes, no, I wasn't too keen on coming up here in this present state, but still. Big Bob actually did me a favour tonight. He cut my tea up for me. It's about the most I got out of Big Bob.
And there he is in close-up. Well, now, if you had a little more time in which to collect your thoughts, would you seriously answer these questions? Did you honestly think you had no chance?
Yes, honestly. I've missed 4 games this year through injury. And playing in the back lines, I think it's happened, but I think it's pretty hard, as, players who do play in the back lines would know.
When the judge went through the third and second number of votes polled, did you still think you had no chance?
Yes, definitely. I've only, missing 4, I think,
Then you'll be interested to know that you polled 5 best of field votes, 2 second best of field, and 1 third for your 20. The 1975 Magarey medalist, Peter Woite.
Saw the house we like to live in a magazine. An ordinary house looking very good in that magazine. Well, I knew I could do that myself. If I go to Lloyd's, I can do it myself. Lloyd's have everything we knew we'd be needing. Now our house is the kind you'll be seeing in a magazine.
G'day, mates. About time I got something sensible to do the shopping in. I'm at Portside Chrysler, 1032 Port Road, Albert Park. Sam Ford here at Portside Chrysler's got Chargers, Valiants, Lancers, Gallants, Centuras. Well, anyway, there's a size to fit anyone. And if you don't like the smell of a new car, take a bo peep at that lot. It's all here at Portside Chrysler.
Montesa Tawny Port by Renmano, rich and mature. Just what you'd expect from a long-established wine company like Renmano. Renmano, talented winemakers.
We're on a bit of a do-it-yourself kick, but the biggest improvement we've made is outside. We had the B&D people install a new B&D colour bond roller door in place of the old monster I used to struggle with. Roller doors are so easy. And for less than we thought, our B&D roller door has given the house an instant facelift. And they've got them for all kinds of houses. B&D colour bond roller doors are the simplest do-it-yourself facelift ever. Except you don't have to do it yourself.
If your garage doors look anything like this, maybe your luck has changed. Because believe it or not, between now and September 30th, Horsell Jarman are looking for Adelaide's most disgraceful garage doors. If your doors look even remotely like this, and you'd like them replaced by a beautiful B&D colour bond roller door, phone this number weekdays between 9 and 5, and we'll send out somebody to photograph your doors. If they're judged to be Adelaide's most disgraceful, don't worry, we won't tell a soul. But we will replace them with a brand new B&D colour bond roller door, absolutely free.
And now a Magarey recount. The winner, Peter Woite, 20. Second, Peter Marker, 19. Third, Ross Dillon, 18. This telecast is being directed by Arthur Gerard. And now with the new champion standing alongside and still hardly able to contain himself, may I, for all club members and supporters of all of the league clubs, run through the leading vote-getters in each club, with the clubs which polled the highest number of votes as an aggregate in order. Norwood and Glenelg both polled 81. The best three for Norwood, Ross Dillon 18, Stephen Curley 10, John Wynne 9. For Glenelg, also 81. Peter Marker 19, Peter Carey 15, Kim Hodgman 14. For Sturt, total votes 72. Robert Klomp 14, Rick Davies 10, Mike Noonan 10. For Port Adelaide, total votes 71. Peter Woite 20, Russell Ebert 15, Darrell Cale 7. North Adelaide, total votes 47. Peter Cloak 14, Trevor Hill 8, Barry Robran 6. West Adelaide, total votes 41. Kevin Beswick 10, and these players on 5, Jeff Morris, Dexter Kennedy, John Hayes, David Gurney. Central Districts, total votes 41 also. Barry Norsworthy 11, Peter Vivian 9, Lyle Skinner 7. South Adelaide, total votes 40. Graham Robbins and Bob Keddy 7 each, Peter Hines 5. Woodville, total votes 33. Eddie Richter 6, John Girardi 5, Graham Linky 4. West Torrens 33 votes as a total. Milan Foletic 3, David Raggett 3, and those figures did not include suspended players' results. And so that's how it was. That was the story, and that was the drama of the 1975 Magarey Medal. It's hats off to the champion, who won by 1 vote, with 20 votes, Peter Woite. You can go and sit down now if you would.
Woite, what a great game. And a full forward goes the kick. Corns down there. Woite, in my opinion, best man on the ground.
Down to the forward pocket. Colwell dropped high. So did Corns. But Woite, handball away. Weston with a handball. Finds Millard. A clever kick off the outside edge of his boot, but it's gone to a Port Adelaide player in Peter Woite.
Position behind was Corns couldn't take it. Woite. Oh, Mr. Seiko this afternoon.
The 1975 Magarey Medal presentation was brought to you by the Lloyd's Group of Companies, this year celebrating their 60th anniversary.